Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear viewers, welcome to a new episode of Target English Grade 9. In this episode, we are going to tackle and cover Module 2, Unit 6, under the title of Cultural Attractions. It is presented in your student's book, page 46. First of all, before going into more details related to the vocabulary related to this unit, let's talk about the words itself, cultural attractions. What does cultural attraction or attractions mean? First of all, before giving you the answer, let's look at the following pictures and try to guess the meaning of this word. As you can see, things to do in Kuwait. We can see marina waves, we can see Kuwait towers, we can see dhows or booms in museums, we can see the camels in the deserts, and we can see a couple of people walking on the beach. Cultural attractions include tourism in a country, particularly historic or large cities and their cultural facilities, such as museums, beaches, towers, and theaters. Before reading the text, let's revise the difference between the synonyms and antonyms. What is a synonym and what is an antonym? First of all, a synonym is a word or phrase that means exactly or nearly the same as another word. So we have a word, and as you can see, the same meaning of another word. Same. For example, we have the word to begin. Synonyms for the word to begin are to start and to initiate. These two words mean the same thing as to begin. Another example is the word false. The synonym for the word false, or the synonyms for the word false, are wrong and untrue. These two words mean false. Moving on to an antonym. An antonym is a word or phrase that means the opposite of another word. So it is not the same, no, it is the opposite. An example of an antonym, for example, we have the word to begin. The opposite of to begin, or the antonym of the word to begin, could be to finish and to end. Like, for example, if you start and then you end, to begin and then you finish. It is the opposite. Another example is the word false. An antonym for the word false is right and true. For example, false and true. Now, let's read and try to guess the meaning of the new words in the text that is in front of us. The highest point in Kuwait, Mutla' Ridge, is a perfect place for camping and hiking. It is a steep slope of rocks and one of the geological features of interest in the country. This area is great for mountain biking during winter because of its hard-packed ground. Hard-packed ground. This is the first word in today's episode. Hard-packed is an adjective which means a compressed to form a hard, smooth surface. As you can see in the picture on your screen, this is an example of a compressed, a hard-packed surface. An example of this word is cars are able to move faster on hard-packed roads. Of course, if a car moves on a sandy road, it won't go as fast as going on a hard-packed road. Moving on to another paragraph. It is an unusually extraordinary museum in Kuwait City, displaying the creativity of and energies developed inside the building. The exterior walls of the House of Mirrors are covered with murals of mirror mosaic. Each piece symbolizes a unique meaning. The interior part is completely covered with splendid mirror mosaic tiles. The second word for today is the word splendid. Splendid is an adjective which means magnificent, very impressive. An example for the word splendid is Kuwait towers are splendid buildings. Synonyms for the word splendid are terrific, awesome, wonderful, and fantastic. All of these words mean the same thing. If you say splendid, terrific, wonderful, awesome, or fantastic, as you all are, my dear viewers, these are the synonyms for the exact same word, which is splendid. Read the following sentences and try to guess the opposite of the word splendid. We gave you the meaning, we gave you the synonyms, and now we need to find the antonym of the word splendid. We have this sentence. Each piece symbolizes a unique meaning. The interior part is completely covered with splendid mirror mosaic tiles. The opposite of the word splendid is wonderful, impressive, superb, ordinary. Well, wonderful, impressive, superb, they are all good words. They give a positive meaning. So we need the opposite. The opposite of the word splendid is ordinary, something that is normal. This is not wonderful, it is not impressive. Moving on to another paragraph. Some rooms hark back to the good old days of Kuwait. Located in Al-Qadsiya, the house is a private property and belongs to Khalifa and Lydia Al-Qattan. They have turned their house into a museum of incredible mirror art. We have a new word here, the word hark back. Hark back is a phrasal verb, which means to remember or talk about something that happened in the past, to recall memories, something that happened in the past. For example, we always hark back to what we call the good old days. Other synonyms for the word hark back are to remind, to recall, to remember, and to review. All of these words give us the same meaning, hark back. And now we talk about the synonyms. Let's talk about the antonyms of the word hark back. The first antonym is to ignore. The second one is to forget. And the third one is to neglect. All of these words are antonyms of this specific word, hark back. And now, let's read the sentence and try to guess the opposite of the word hark back. Some rooms hark back to the good old days of Kuwait. Located in Al-Qadsiya, the house is a private property and belongs to Mr. Khalifa and Mrs. Lydia Al-Qattan. The opposite of the word hark back is to look back, forget, review, remind. The antonym, the opposite of hark back. We took what is the meaning or the synonym of the word hark back is to remember. So the opposite of the word hark back is to forget. Magnificent, my dear viewers. The answer for this question is the opposite of the word hark back is to forget. This impressive museum should not be missed. It houses a great collection of items from different countries such as musical instruments, silver and gold jewelry, costumes and pearls. In spite of all these marvelously presented pieces, it's the Arabic manuscripts that give the museum its international importance. A new word for today is the word marvelously. Marvelously is an adverb which means wonderfully or extremely well. For example, the Avenues Mall is marvelously decorated. Other synonyms for the word marvelously are magically, unusually, wondrously. All of these words mean marvelously. Moving on to another word. The museum is a private collection of antiques by Tariq Rajab and his wife. It is easily identified by its entrance, a carved wooden doorway flanked by two smaller doors on the side. A new word for today is the word flanked. It is a verb. To be placed at the side or sides of something. To be on each or one side of it. For example, as you can see in the picture in front of you, these two cats are flanked and the books are in the middle. The island is flanked by water from all sides is an example for the word flanked. Several museums in Kuwait exhibit the great history, art, artifacts, and much more. Sadu House is a prodigious museum that depicts Bedouin crafts, namely Sadu weaving. It is located next to the National Museum of Kuwait. Visitors can discover the art of weaving in different styles and history too. Sadu House or Beit Sadu was previously an old Kuwaiti house which has been converted into a cultural center. We have a new word here and it is the word prodigious. It is an adjective which means remarkably or impressively great in extent, size or degree, wonderful or marvelous. Antonyms for prodigious are insignificant, small, unimportant, unremarkable. Another word in this same paragraph is the word depicts or depict. Depict is a verb which means to represent or show something in a picture or a story. And as you can see in front of you, this man is depicting the image or the scenery in front of him. The painter depicted all the details of the garden in the picture. And the third word in this paragraph also, we have the word converted. To convert is a verb which means to change from one form or use to another. For example, as you can see, we have a picture of a sofa bed here or a sofa. The sofa can be converted into a bed easily. In the first picture, on the top picture, it is a sofa. And in the second picture, it was converted into a bed. Synonyms for the word convert are to modify, to turn, to switch, and to transform. In this unit, we took several new words, and they are, for the verbs, we took the word flank, convert, and depict. For the adjectives, we took hard packed, splendid, and prodigious. For the adverbs, we took marvelously, and phrasal verbs, we took the word hark back. You know what time it is? It is time to have a vocabulary quiz relating to Unit 6. Find the synonyms of the following words in the text. Show, wonderfully, a hard, smooth surface. Let's start with show. And the answer is right in front of you. Sadu House is a prodigious museum that depicts Bedouin crafts, namely Sadu weaving. So, to show is to depict. The answer is to depict. A synonym for the word show. Wonderfully, B. As you can see in the sentence in front of you, in spite of all these marvelously presented pieces, it is the Arabic manuscripts that give the museum its international importance. Wonderfully is a synonym for the word which is presented in the text in front of you, marvelously. C. A hard, smooth surface. Yes, it is, as we talked about, it is in the Mutla'raj. It is a steep slope of rocks and one of the geological features of interest in the country. This area is great for mountain biking during winter because of its hard, packed grounds. So the answer is hard, packed is a synonym for a hard, smooth surface. And now we have to choose the correct answer from A, B, C, and D. Number 1. A brilliant engineer was able to a small house into a big palace. A small house into a big. What is the word? Is it suffocate, depict, convert, flank? Small to big. Small to big. So the word here is to convert. The engineer converted the small house into a big house or a big palace. Number 2, our grandparents left us a/an heritage we now enjoy. Our grandparents left us what? Annual, toxic, monsoonal, splendid. Of course, our grandparents left us a splendid heritage we now enjoy. Question number 3. When we travel abroad, we always to the old days in our country. So when you travel abroad, when we travel to another country, we always at the old days in our country. We always what? Hark back, depend on, pray on, embark on. Of course, we try to remember. Sometimes we feel homesick. So we hark back. The answer is hark back. Fill in the spaces with the suitable words from the list below. We have seriously, hark back, depict, splendid, and flanked. Number 7. Unfortunately, many people were injured in an accident yesterday. They were what? They were seriously injured. Number 8. Some old people always to how things were 30 years ago. So the old people always talk about their old days. So they always hark back. They remember how things were 30 years ago. Number 9. I think the Grand Mosque is the most building in Kuwait. Depict, splendid, or flanked. Of course, it is the most splendid building in Kuwait City. The fine gateway of the castle is by 2 high towers. So the gateway, and on the right and on the left, we have 2 high towers. So it is flanked by 2 high towers. In this episode, we learned and we discovered the vocabulary related to Unit 6, and we tackled vocabulary exercises. Thank you all, my dear viewers, for viewing, and hope to see you soon, inshallah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.